Um, I wanted to get into this whole discussion between Professor Anton and Thou Art That. Um, they're talking about the difficulty of Christianity, but they come down to asking one question for Christians, and I'm a Christian, and I fully believe that there's a God in this world. I fully believe that there is a God that is, you know, ruling this whole world and doing everything. I fully believe that because, and the reason I believe that, just going to go into a little bit, about why I believe certain things before I actually answer the question. But the reason I believe this is because of religious experience. Now, there's an argument in philosophy called the argument from religious experience. Now, what the atheists and agnostics have against this belief has to do with arguments against having to do with psychosis or psychological phenomenon, where it's possible where I could be having like a psychosis sort of thing going on, where I would be thinking that I would be having some sort of religious experience, where in reality I'm not having anything at all, and it's just sort of psychosis crap going on in my brain, where I'm just crazy. Now, I'm gonna just kind of talk to you about what I have experienced, what I have felt like I have experienced. I felt like that through my trials and tribulations and the things that I have gone on in my life, in my 21 years of life, in my problems that I've had and things I've had to pray about and things like that, I've feel like I've had direct and indirect experience of Him being there with me, being here with me, because God is here. I feel like I experience Him. I feel like I experience Him working in my life, and I feel like I experience Him here, doing things in my life, and I feel like He has a plan for me, and I feel like all these things because I have some sort of relationship with Him that I can feel. I feel like it's there, and that's the reason I feel like there's a God. I mean, I've doubted, I have thought about it, and I've like, well, is there really a God there? Is this, or is this just a bunch of bullshit? I've thought about that before, and I've doubted myself, and I keep coming back to this belief in a God, and I've become firm in my faith. My faith has developed, and now it's very strong, and that's how I feel now. So now the question that Thou Art That and Professor Anton have been discussing back and forth is, the question would be like, if God said to all the Christians, if God said to the Christians, there is no afterlife, and I'm sorry. If God said that to all the Christians and said, no, there's no afterlife, I'm sorry, there is none. The question is, could you forgive God? Now, first of all, I would have to say yes, I could forgive Him. First of all, that I wouldn't even question whether I would forgive Him or not, because I trust Him and I know that it would be His plan. Now, the truth is that I don't think that I would have to forgive God, because I would just be going to silence and death anyway. But I believe that if this did happen, I would still be able to forgive Him, because that's His plan, and that's what's supposed to happen. So that's His plan, and if he did happen to say this to me, just for whatever reason, if He did happen to say to me, there is an afterlife, and he happened to say that to me for a reason, then said there's no afterlife, I'm sorry, I wouldn't understand. I would have no clue why, but I would still forgive him. I would still, feel like, okay, I would still understand. I would still forgive him, and I would still feel like, that everything's okay. And then he did this for a reason, and and I have the rewards now in this life. So that's my take on that. And I guess the reason I wanted to get in on this is because people have been saying in response to this, like, that there's why would you even say anything about forgiving God? God does not have to be forgiven. He's God. But I guess we are God's followers if you're a Christian, and even if you aren't a Christian, God is with you all the time. He's always with you. And even if you don't acknowledge him, he still thinks about you. He still loves you, and he still is with you all the time. So, he cares for everybody, and I guess, we do have. I think that's a very honest question. It's a very good question, because it tests the faith of Christians. It tests our faith. It tests the way we are, and the way the Christians are. Some Christians might say differently to this question. I don't know, but that's just how I would feel about it. If God said to me, "I'm sorry, there is no afterlife," then I would have to be fine with it. So I don't know. Those are just my thoughts. So I don't know if you have any questions about what it is to be a Christian, or what being a follower of God is, and how I came to be. If you have any other things like that, please private message me, or comment, or anything like that, because I would love to talk to you about it. And even if you're an atheist and just want to say something against what the Christians think, that's fine too. So anyway, have a great day.